Hey everybody, it's Brett with Crow Hollow Woodworks. Today we're going to be building a wall-mounted drop leaf desk. Let's check it out. Now that we got all the boards cut to rough length, we need to plane them all down into a rough width before we decide on which boards will go where. The final dimensions of the desk are going to be about 3 feet wide by 2 feet deep, and part of that 2 foot depth is going to be the part that mounts to the wall that holds the hinge assembly that lets it come up and down. So I've got to decide which part I'll do that, and I'll do that once I kind of know what my grain direction, grain patterns look like, figure out the best way to match these up. So the next step now is to take out this god-awful cup on all these boards and see what we're working with. Once you've got it set to rough thickness with your scrub plane, you can then come with the joiner plane to make sure that everything is nice and flat. We'll worry about smoothing it likely after we do the glue up. Right now we're concerned with taking out the ripples that we got from the scrub plane to kind of get it down to a general thickness, and then now we use the joiner plane to make sure that the face is square, and then we'll move on to joining the edges as we get ready for glue up. One thing I noticed as I was planing this board is that this one side here is a lot narrower than what this side's going to be. And I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but so your pith of your tree would have been right about here, and then I had a pretty significant cup that was occurring, and I got it out of that side, struggling to get it out over here. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to rip this board right on the other side of where that's making its most significant curve. That should take the cup out and also give me a little bit thicker board to work with for the thing. So on each of your boards as you're preparing for your panel glue up, flatten one face, make a reference face, do the same thing with one edge. Then you can take your little square, run it down, make sure that you're square all the way down on the jointed edge, and then use that reference edge to go down and make sure that you got your face nice and square all the way down. And you're going to use that to reference your other side to set your thickness and then your length. So I'll show you how we do that. So to set your thickness of your board, you've got your reference face and then your reference edge there. Use your marking gauge, whatever variety. Run along that edge until you find the narrowest point, and then set it. Maybe off camera here, sorry. Then set it, and then take it, and you'll mark a line going down through there. Maybe tough to see. It's tough to see here, but you'll create a knife line, and that'll be your depth stop. That'll be what you watch out for as you're planing to set your thickness, so that you get a uniform thickness across the board. And then likewise, you can make sure you get a uniform width. You can, if you have a marking gauge long enough, you can do the same thing here. Find the narrowest point and then strike a line across, playing down to that, and that should get you a pretty square and a tried and true board, if you will. Do that for all your boards for your top, and then you'll be ready. Okay, so once you have each of your boards planed and jointed square, so both sides square to each other and both faces square to each other, lay it down, get it set in your clamps, do a test run, look for any gaps or any spaces in your joint, and if you do have any, take them out, throw them back on the bench, joint the high spots, and then put it back in. I had a couple spots I had to do that on this one. But once you get everything ready, you're ready for gluing up your panel. How I'm going to do it is the face that you see on top, that's going to be the bottom. I'm going to put the show face, what's going to be the top of the bench, is actually going to be on the back side of this clamping area here. You'll see that here in a sec. But that way I can just make sure that the top is the most flush, because I'm not going to really worry about flattening the bottom once I get everything together. My focus is going to be on the top. So yeah, we should be ready for glue up. So while the main panel is glue up, I went ahead and started work on the piece that's going to mount to the wall. That's going to serve as the hinge point. Treated it the same way, joining the edges, planed the faces, got it all square. It's about the same width or the same thickness as the main panel. So once the glue dries on the main panel, we can start working on setting our hinges. Wanted to provide a better explanation of the next step here. So this piece here is what's getting mounted to the wall, and then that top of that that piece that we did the hinge on will mount to the top of this. So this has to hold our hinges for our supports that are going to go in and out. So this is going to be a half lap joint here and here, and I've got this marked based on where the studs are located in my wall, which they're on 16-inch centers. So this is 32 inches between here and here, and we'll put another mounting screw in the middle. So I want these to half lap into this. So I marked my spot there. I marked the middle there just so I can line it up to get where I'm going to have to make my cuts, and then we're going to get started in the making that half lap. So I just wanted to be able to explain what was going on here, why I've got this mark here and here, and we're going to do the same thing down here. We got all of our layout lines transferred and our waist marked, so we'll be cutting those off and fitting those into there for our half lap. this point in the build, the order of operations starts to get a little hairy. So we've got the back piece that's going to hold the hinge. That's done. We've got our brackets that are going to rotate in and out. We've got that done. And we also have the part that is going to mount to the wall that holds it all in place. We got that done. So from this point forward, figuring out what steps to do, what next, starts to kind of get a little fuzzy. There's a way I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you in the video. I don't know if it's going to be the best way. If it's not the best way when I'm done, I'll make sure to let you know, because I can't go back in time and talk to myself. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do it. So here we've got the hinge part mounted to the wall mount part, fixing in the vise. I've got a clamp holding this down. I'm now going to add another clamp up here, and what I'm going to do is every 4 inches coming up to both sides, I'm going to drill holes for our cut nails. Okay, something I wanted to show here is that, so I've got my hinge screwed in, just one on each side, just enough to hold it in place. And let me show you a problem I ran into, is that now it's kind of trying to spring back. So it's not just staying straight like I want it to. It's trying to do the springing business. Now, maybe that could have avoided if I'd have done a recess versus this, but what I'm going to do to try to fix it is take a block plane and run it on this edge, back edge over here, kind of take some of that off, and then hopefully that should let it sit flat. One additional thing that I want to do is I've got some of these brass brackets I want to put on this back side here to give some additional support between this back piece and then this piece here where the hinge is mounted, so that through repeated up and down it doesn't come loose. But with that, I'm going to have to I just fixed it for the hinge, but now I'm going to have to do it again for this, but for this I'm just going to use just a chisel and just kind of notch out a little spot. So here's what the arms look like. Fold it out. It just rests there. No need for any additional support. Let me take the camera walk in here. So there's the underside. Hinges, little brass supports hinged on the inside of the bracket supports, and then when you're, let me do this side a little easier. Hang on. And then, yep, slide that over. Got a little recess cut there to dodge the hinge and the thing, the bracket support. Works okay. As far as the joinery goes, this piece was put together with a lap joint. Same thing on the corner bracket there. The miter corners here are just glued and cut nailed. The top is attached to this support with cut nails, and then on the back side is brass corner brackets. And then the top hinges I actually did it in recess. I did not recess the other ones. It's just how it goes. Sorry, darkened out there. So, and then the top was just put together with just hide glue and clamps, no additional joinery.